Give it up for Mutt Rogers.
Wow, holy shit, I gotta get this way out of my way. Wish I could hide behind it. No, can't do it that way. How's everybody doing?
Yeah!
Alright, I am loving this. On stage at the East Coast. Right, gonna have a good time. Alright, you guys in the front, you look like you're having fun.
Yay.
I like the endorsement. I like the endorsement. Well, if you guys could do me a favor, if you could just give me a good look and realize that these are my real legs.
Yeah!
They're my real working legs. They've been working for me for a good long while now. I would forget just how short my legs were, unless of course I went outside and there was anyone else out there to constantly remind me. Like, I just fucking forget. You know, but I have my moments though. I'll be at home. I'll be ironing my pants. I'm like, holy shit. My legs are 2 irons long. Wow. Really let that one sink in. That one's pretty intense. Started to think about the Smurfs. The Smurfs, they were supposed to be like 3 apples high. I just start singing that little song as I'm ironing my tiny, tiny pants. I realized I could use the back water tank of my toilet as my ironing board. You know, I've never had to buy one of those things. And then I realized I'm actually so short that I don't even meet the height requirement for a Napoleon complex. It makes me kind of sad. It just means I have to be a nice, funny guy. But that's exactly why I want everybody in here to appreciate the options that you have in your life. Because I know for sure if I were taller, I would definitely choose to be an asshole. I'm not saying you're assholes, I'm just saying you have the option. Not me. No, no, no. Yeah, people like to come up and say all kinds of great shit, you know? People come up and they're like, hey man, are your parents short? And I'm like, look, you don't have to try to help me figure out what went wrong. I'm okay with it. You're gonna work through it. I got a feeling. I'm like, yes, but to answer your question, my parents are short. So like in elementary school, my friend came up to me and he's like, hey man, my dad's taller than your dad. And I was like, you're 8 years old. You're taller than my dad. Like, that is not hard to do. People, they'll say things like, well, have you always been short? And I got really tired of just always saying yes. So I started to say no. I was a linebacker in high school. Yeah, I caught this retrograde Gary Coleman white guy disease. I've just been shrinking ever since. Yeah, I figured just a couple more years I'm going to be a hobbit. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. We're going to have a change jar over on the bar. We're going to be raising money, trying to find a cure. But if we do, I'll have no more jokes. So that'll kind of suck. Don't get me wrong. But my favorite thing that ever happened, this woman, she sees me from across the room. Her eyes just light up. She comes shooting straight over to me. She just comes up and she's like, hey, do you play volleyball on Tuesdays? I had no idea how to react. I was like, not by design, on a usual week, I don't know. Like, do you play volleyball on Tuesdays? She's like, no, you know the volleyball on Tuesdays. Like, I really don't. Like, what? She's like, no, you know volleyball for little people. Over at the rec center on Tuesdays. I know, God. And again, I couldn't be an asshole. I had to just be a nice guy. So I was like, I'm not actually a little person. I'm just really short. Right? And she just kind of takes a step back and looks me over for a second. Just shakes her head. She goes, my daughter is a little person. So obviously she knows a midget when she sees one. I was fooling no one. But I went home and I really thought about it. I I walked through it, I made sense out of it. So obviously, this bitch owns a midget. And she can't figure out why whoever owns me doesn't take me to volleyball on Tuesdays. Oh, it's terrible.
You could do better.
With your help, sir. With your help, this weekend we're gonna hit the track. We're gonna walk laps because that's what you do when you don't know what else to do about a disease. You just get together with like-minded people. You try to walk laps because diseases hate that shit. I do have my ways of getting back at the taller world. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, here's something I like to do in the men's room. I like to try to make sure the tallest guy in the room has to pee in the shortest urinal. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care if I have to take a step back and like arc it in from a distance. I don't care if I have to creep up and put my balls right on the icy cool porcelain. I will be using that tallest urinal, and I will be there for a while. And the rest of you guys can just fuck off. That's right. I don't get many chances to say that, so I like to cash in where I can. Hey, do you guys remember that old board game? Do you guys remember that game of life?
Yeah.
Do you remember that game? You could never spin that wheel right. It was always just flying off the board. You're like, can I spin again? Come on. Can I spin again? It took skill to get that thing down. But yeah, I used to hate that game as a kid. Because no matter how many times I played it, I always just ended up dying alone. But I figure that's really the honorable way to go out. I mean, what am I supposed to do? Like swerve off the road in that shitty little plastic station wagon and take my whole peg family with me? I figure I don't need to take them out in this whole process. Yeah. I don't really want to say I'm pessimistic about relationships, but I definitely have those moments, like, on a first date or second date or whatever. I just have that moment where I'm looking across the table and I can't help but think about the future, and I start to think like, wow, are these the eyes of the person I want to be seeing every single time I'm standing on the porch picking up the children for the weekend? And so far the answer's been no. Oh, got kind of sad here. Hey, all right. Okay, well here, I'm going to tell you guys about my highlight so far in comedy. So every so often as comics, we like to go down to this open mic at a place called the Bus Stop in Boulder. You guys been to the Boulder Bus Stop? Or it's just the bus stop in Boulder, right? So for those of you that don't know, that is a strip club. And they have an open mic for comics. We show up, we get free admission, we get time on stage. It's great. Turns out the strippers are starved for entertainment. They're just happy to have somebody else up there looking kind of sad, floundering around for a little while. And we're comedians, so we're standing in line. Just right there. T's been there. He knows what it's like. But yeah, so we do it. First night ever, first open mic. It goes fantastic, right? And so I'm thinking we're heading out. I'm like, hey, woo, good night, guys. Let's get out of here. My ride's like, no, man. The all nude side's open till 3. Good reaction. I like that. Right? But to kind of give you an idea, my view of strip clubs, I find them to be very confusing. Right? I kind of think of them to be sort of like a pizzeria with a lot of confusing differences because you can see the pizza. Sometimes you can even smell the pizza. But you can't touch the pizza. But the pizza can touch you. And that's what I find most confusing. And that's why you always just go home covered in grease, smelling like anchovies. That's right. There might be a little bit of glitter. There might be a little bit of glitter thrown in there too, don't get me wrong.
Oh, that's gross.
I know, he's over there acting like it's never happened to him. He's like, that is disgusting. Oh, but get this. Here's the kicker. No pizza. That's the worst part, right? So we go over to the all-nude side. We go over there. I've got $5 or $6. I'm just folding them lengthwise, and I'm stacking them up at the edge of the stage. And I don't really realizing it. I'm not really realizing what I'm doing, but I'm obviously just chumming the water. I've got 5 or 6 ones, I'm playing with them. You know, it's stripper bait at this point. The dancer on stage, she kind of looks over her shoulder, she sees all that money sitting there. She kind of like slithers over to me real slow and sexy, like a dancer will. She's like, hey, I saw you over on the other side. Like, you're actually pretty funny. I was like, wow, you know, thank you. That's the nicest thing anyone not wearing any clothes has ever said to me. She just gives me this look. She's like, stand up, turn around. And I had to remind her that I was already standing up. Yeah. But I'll gladly turn around. So I've got my back to the stage. I just feel these 2 hands reach down. She grabs me underneath my armpits, just pulls with all of her might, pulls me up off my feet, onto the stage, just drops me on my back. She just steps right over my face, just crouches down and just starts gyrating away. She's just going for it. The whole bar is losing their shit. Right? And now, I don't know what $5 or $6 will get you at the all-nude side at the bus stop in Boulder, Colorado, but I want to make sure it stays off my face. So I'm just kind of down here like this. Right? And I'm trying not to touch moisture. Right? But it's a moving target. It's not as easy as you think, right? And it's already dark. She's getting lower, so it's just getting darker. She gets about 6 inches from my face. And at this point, I can smell the pizza. True story. She's about right here. Oh, you know it. You know it. Right. With a hot dog right inside. That made no sense whatsoever, but we're gonna go with it. We're just gonna roll along. But yeah, but not to be outdone, this other dancer, she sees the commotion this is causing. She runs over, jumps up on stage, just plops down on my crotch and just starts grinding away on that. So it's really just become this stripper playground. Like, and I'm the seesaw. And my loyalties are torn, because I'm like, well, I'm kind of trying to protect down here, because they're never gentle. Right, so I'm kind of down here, and then every now and then I'm like, whoa, stay off my face, pizza. You know, and I'm kind of trying to get it. Everybody's laughing, I'm laughing, everybody's having a great time. Right, it hits a fever pitch. Perfect moment, the DJ comes on the mic, and he just says, ladies, calm down. That's child abuse. And it was. I might not sue. All right, you guys, I gotta get out of here. I am late for volleyball.
Keep it going for Mutt Rogers.